first, let's kind of review. You guys know that 1 degree is 1/360th of a rotation, right? So, in other words, a rotation contains 360 degrees. A minute is 1/60th of a degree. So 1 degree has 60 minutes in it, right? 1 second is 1/60th of a minute. So a minute has 60 seconds. You guys remember all that? Okay. We can use our calculator to find values of trig functions, but always make sure make sure you're in degree mode for now. Later on in the course we'll get into radian mode, but right now we have to be degree mode. If you're in the wrong mode, every answer you give me will be wrong. So always watch that. Other thing to be aware of, that sine to the -1, cosine to the -1, and tangent to the -1 are not reciprocals. So if you're trying to find cotangent, do not hit tangent to the -1 and think that means 1 over tangent. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so just note, don't use those buttons for now. They're not going to give you what you think they're giving you.
Don't use sine, -1, anything with -1.
Right. Okay, so let's use our calculator to find some of these values. So tangent of 68 degrees, 43 minutes. There is a way on your calculators to put in degrees and minutes, but I have found it's easier for people. How do you change that into decimal form?
Divided by 60.
Okay, so this is what I want you to do. Hit tangent. It opens the parenthesis. I want you to put in 68 plus 43 over 60. That way we put it in all at once. There's no rounding error. You don't have to search for a degree and then a minute. We just put it all in at once. Okay, what did you get?
2.57.
I got 2.634827.
Do we need like double parentheses around 43 divided by 60?
No. Order of operations will do that division first anyway. So you're alright. The other way, degrees and minutes, the exact same thing. So if you've got that button, you can use it. But alright, did you figure out what you did?
Yeah.
Okay. And then everybody go ahead and do B, cosine of 193.622. What do we get?
0.97.
Okay. So far, so good? Alright. I haven't really specified how many decimal places I want you to give me. I will usually tell you, give me 4 decimal places or 2 or whatever. So I'll specify. If I don't, then at least 2, if not more. Okay. What about cosecant? How would I type that in?
1 over cosine?
1 over...
Oh wait,
Sine.
no, sine, sorry.
Yeah. So, just like this. And let's give 4 decimal places on this answer.
Yeah.
What do we get?
1.7076.
Good. Alright, you guys do secant of -287 for me. What do you have to type in to get secant?
1 over cosine.
What did you get?
3.42.
No problems with this so far? Okay. Alright. Now, what if I switch it around? Remember on your homework you had some problems where I would say like sine of theta is -1/2. And I asked you to find theta for me, right? And we had to think, okay, well if it's negative, what quadrants would I be in? What quadrants would be in?
2. 4. Yeah.
Or, no,
the
not
first
sine, so it's 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
I was thinking tangent.
Oh,
And then we need our reference angle. What's our reference angle going to be? When is sine 1/2?
60.
Yeah. No.
45.
No.
30.
30.
Ah.
Remember that quiz we took last week with that table? You need to work on that. You might see that again sometime this week. So maybe even tomorrow.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
knowing SOHCAHTOA, the table with sine, cosine, tangent, 0, 30, 45, 60, and 90. Okay, so in quadrant 3, if my reference angle is 30, what's my angle?
210.
210, because you do 180 plus 30. In quadrant 4,
Or we do 6, so
300.
yeah.
yeah, because you do 360 minus
Minus
30.
30.
Okay, we can do the same type of thing on our calculator. I'm specifying here, I want an angle in the interval 0 to 90 to make this true. That's just saying it's in the first quadrant. Your calculator will do that automatically. It's only going to give us one answer. It's not going to give us every time this angle is positive, it's just going to give us the first one. Which, in my directions, I said that's all I wanted. Now, I have no idea off the top of my head what makes cosine equal to 0.921185, blah, blah, blah. And I don't want to just sit and plug in things to make it true.
It's less than
That's what that cosine to the -1 does. It finds the angle. So your angle is cosine to the -1. That means cosine inverse. Anytime you want an angle, that's when you use that button. So you're going to hit, to get the cosine -1, it's second cosine. And then you type in what it was equal to.
So every time you have your little swivelly line.
Well,
Wait,
it's
when do you know when to use negative?
if you're finding this angle, if theta is what you're finding. Before, I knew what theta was. I knew my angle.
Okay.
This time I gave it to you backwards. I gave you the answer. You have to go back and tell me what I put in.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's when we do the -1. So what did you get for theta? Let's do, well, 2 decimal places would be fine.
22.90.
Mm-hmm. Because it's 0.892. Okay. Part B. This is probably the only thing in this section that really trips people up. So we need to talk about it. We need our angle, but do we have a cotangent inverse button? No, we only have a tangent inverse. So you have to be careful. Cotangent is 1 over tangent, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's gonna be 1 over second tangent.
Well,
We find.
you have to be a little careful. You can't plug this in as it is.
So do the inverse.
You have to get tangent by itself on this side. Because what I did is I took 1, I divided by something, and this is the answer I got. So I can't do my inverse until I just have plain tangent over here. So if I multiply by tangent, then what would I do?
Divide by 1.4, blah, blah, blah.
So basically tangent is going to be equal to 1 over.
Whatever the answer is.
Mhm.
That's easy.
Yeah.
So that's what you type in. You don't want to do 1 over tangent inverse. You do tangent inverse of 1 over 1.446647.
I was just thinking of it as like you find the inverse of the numbers. It's
Mhm.
tangent and cotangent stuff.
So what did we get for our answer? Let's give me 4 decimal places.
34.65.
And that's degrees, because I'm finding my angle.
You like it? Oh, wait, so then we get rid of tangent, or is it?
Yes, because you found theta.
Theta, okay.
Okay, do you guys need another problem like that?
No, that's pretty.
That's okay? Alright, the last type of problem I want to give you, there are a few word problems on your homework. I wanted to give you a sample of it. Okay, so this one has a lot of background information. Let's read through this and then we'll find out what's important. The force F in pounds when an automobile travels uphill or downhill on a highway is called grade resistance and is modeled by the equation F equals W sine of theta. Theta is the grade and W is the weight of the automobile. Okay, so right now if I were picking out important information, I would say that statement right there is probably pretty important. That's my equation and what my variables stand for. What's F stand for?
The pounds, the automobile travels uphill.
Yeah, the force in pounds. Okay. Then I also told you if the automobile is moving uphill, then theta is greater than 0. If it's moving downhill, theta is less than 0. Seems reasonable. Okay, calculate F to the nearest 10 pounds for a 5,500 pound car traveling an uphill grade with theta equal 3.9 degrees. So I'm finding my force. Remember I gave you this formula.
W is weight of automobile, so that's
So
5,500.
that'd be 307.
Sine 3.9.
Right.
370.
Okay. Type that in. Alright, and what's that give me?
307.
What's the nearest 10?
Right, and then I said round it to the nearest 10 pounds.
370, right?
370 pounds, because force is measured in pounds. Alright.
So wait, why did you do 370?
Just because in this it said calculate it to the nearest 10 pounds. So I just told you to round to 10 pounds. Alright. Part B. So this is our formula still, that's all we know. I want you guys to do B on your own. And see if you can do C. Try B and C for me. So part B,
6.9.
my weight is 2,800. It's going downhill, so it's sine of negative 4.8. So 2,800 sine negative 4.8. That gives me negative 234.29796. Okay, would it make sense to have a negative force? Why did that come out negative?
It's
Going down.
And it said round it to the nearest 10 pounds, so it would be,
Negative 230.
okay. Part C. 2,400 pound car traveling uphill has a grade resistance of 288 pounds. What is the angle of the grade? So here, what's my force?
The 288.
Yeah.
Equals my weight,
2,400.
sine of theta. What do I need to do first?
Divide 240.
So is it always going to be, oh wait, the equation was sine, so gosh.
So you have to get the angle by itself, and then how would you find theta?
Sine to the negative 1.
I don't know why. But why do you use sine to the negative 1?
Because you're trying to find theta.
Oh.
Anytime you're looking for the angle. So I get 6.89, and it's an angle, so that is degrees.
So how'd you know that was degrees?
Because it's the angle. Theta is in degrees. Anything else? Okay, that's where I'm stopping. I'm going to change this. I want to change that to number 19. So this is your homework. You've got quite a bit of time.